and welcome to the strongest Warhammerist podcast in the universe. That's right. Ooh, that bulk's going well. It's the Strength Hammer Podcast, episode 117, with me, and we got Alex, because that's how the show starts out every time. If you're new here, just get used to this. If you're not new here, then you know what's going on.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you doing today, Alex?
A little tired.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, didn't get quite enough sleep last night. Hasn't happened for a while. Sleep is, as far as health and fitness goes, is one of the weirdest things for me and the hardest things for me to get good at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing phenomenally well. I would say last month, 2 months. But last night was the first night where I didn't get the best sleep. How about you, Chuck?
I am also incredibly tired. It was club night last night, although I was home by 11:30. But like a heavy meal and just kind of like toss turning all night. Plus, I'm still fighting this cold that's been going around, so it's been less than stellar for getting good night's sleep. So I'll sleep for a couple hours, wake up for a few minutes, back to sleep. So I'm sleepy too, but we'll get through.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny how we sync that together.
We do. We sync everything together.
That's right.
We are
Even our periods.
even our yeah. I was gonna say our poops, but
That's actually a very good point.
we actually are
One thing you
synced
guys
on
may
that.
not know is pretty much after every podcast recording, we're like, "Yep, gotta go."
Yep, we are synced in that.
That is funny.
I wonder if that's something to do with you know a regulatory diet that we both sort of have. That like whenever
Hmm.
because I noticed that too when I got this weird thing. Well, not weird, but when I got more into fitness and started making sure I was eating better and more regular, I noticed that my body, if I put something inside of it, within 20 minutes it says I got to remove something. It became a very
Yeah,
standard thing. It's very regular, which is with. So I wonder if it's something like along the lines of that, not to get into like gross poopy details, but
I mean, that's the gross people details is exactly what I do for a living as a dietitian, right?
oh sure,
Talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
bowel movements all the time. But yeah, I mean, the reality is we're both at this point, and I'm part of this club now for a while at least. Is we're both over 200 pounds, so we have to eat
Woo!
enough food to maintain that weight. And the reality is, we eat healthy. We don't just eat pizza and nuggets. We eat our vegetables, we eat our fruit, we eat our
Mm-hmm.
fiber, we drink lots of water. We are healthy and with good, healthy blood flow and digestion. So we are going to have regular, healthy bowel movements.
Yep,
Simple as that.
and coffee
And if you
helps.
only, if coffee absolutely helps, and if you're a person who only poops once every 2 days, probably some things to look into.
To be fair, maybe that's a future topic because that actually is an important topic
Oh,
because like for everyone out there, like we'll figure out how to phrase it in an appropriate way for our
sure.
audience. But I think Alex can handle that. But that might be a good topic because I think I was shocked. I've always been somewhat regular throughout my life, and
Hmm.
it was always at least once a day. It's obviously more now that I eat more, but I was shocked when I found out there was people out there that yeah don't. I'm like, what do you mean? This is like my third trip today. What you haven't been 2 days for you? What's going on?
Yeah, like once a week, twice a week, like that's not uncommon.
I don't understand it, so I don't want to
Hmm.
speak or say that that's wrong. But like, I would be fascinated by this topic. Oddly enough,
As a as a dietitian, it's not good,
okay.
right? Yeah.
But anyway,
But anyway, that's a topic for another day.
well,
Maybe we talk about Nurgle.
yeah, when we do a Nurgle episode, that's gonna be the topic.
I
Um,
like it.
but before we dive in to the topic, how is your lawn or sidewalk
Lawn.
and driveway?
Excellent question, Chuck. I was looking forward to it all week.
Good, good.
But unfortunately, there's no news to add to the lawn talk. The lawn is the same, and sidewalk is nice. There's salt on it. There's no ice. It's safe. It's about it. There's not a lot of snow laying. It snows, but it doesn't usually stay there. And we put salt out there, so it's not slippery.
There you go. There you go. My lawn is also covered in snow. My sidewalks, so I have a big long sidewalk in my backyard, and it's private property, so I don't have to salt it. I just have to worry about the what's in front with the I guess in the town. So that is a little slippery. So coming home last night when it was freezing, all that snow kind of came at us out of nowhere. Made a treacherous, 100 feet to my house, but we
Sure,
survived. We
sure.
survived.
Yeah, and snow lays longer and stays on the ground longer where you're at as well.
Yeah, it does. It does. Maybe I'll start an indoor garden just so I have some different lawn talk to go. To be fair, honestly, everybody, you've enjoyed the lawn talk, and we actually enjoyed doing it. But now that there's no real lawn until April.
Yeah,
Let us know if you have something we can use to fill in that's still the same vein.
we need ideas.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
We do. All right. Anyway, so today, Alex,
Yes.
we we are in this situation. We are worshippers of the chaos gods.
Ah,
Yes, we take our protein for corn. We take our creatine for Slanesh. I'm blanking on a Zinch or a Nurgle style
I
supplement.
think Nurgle would be like a bulking, like
Oh,
a
just
mass gainer.
mass gainer. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Zinch would be, let's say Zinch
Maybe
is,
this is Zinch,
maybe this is Zinch.
actually.
Maybe Zinch.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've talked supplements before here, but you had the great idea. If we're gonna get that blessing of the pump from the chaos gods themselves, we need a good pre-workout. And you, my
Absolutely.
man, know that more than anybody else. I'm a caffeine, like not caffeine. I'm coffee. I drink coffee. That's where I
Hmm.
get it from. Occasionally a B12 supplement. Outside of that, no idea. And to be fair, sometimes a little afraid when I see certain things. I think the only energy drink I ever do drink on occasion is Rain body fuel. Uh, so
Right.
so please use your Zinchian ways to gift us with the pre workout of Zinch.
Absolutely. Fun fact: if I had to choose a Chaos Scout, it absolutely would be Zinch. Other ones do not appeal to me almost at all, and Zinch appeals to me heavily. So I think it's actually quite appropriate.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. But is this Lanesh primarily for you?
It's Slanesh. Yeah, it's I know where my weakness is at.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, excellent. Yeah, before we even dive in, I would say you kind of nailed the three most important ones, right? If you're going to take supplements in general for health and fitness, creatine, protein powder, caffeine. All right, I've yet to meet a fitness influencer or a fitness professional who wouldn't agree with that, like who would put any of the other ones above those three. Right. So that's bottom line. Those are established. And also disclaimer: if you're a beginner, you don't need to worry about what I'm going to talk about, right?
Yeah.
It's helpful if you have the funds for it. It's helpful, but what this is helpful for is like, hey, if you ever do look at pre-workouts, or if you ever do want to add something to your pre-workout shake, a specific powder, or maybe to your caffeine of choice, there are some things you could add to potentially improve your performance. So I'm going to just name a few that I take personally, and we can talk about. And I have my notes here because I don't. I'm a little rusty on exactly what everything is and what the dose should be. But those are things that could potentially improve your performance and outcomes by maybe 2 to 4%,
Sure.
right?
Hey, every little bit helps though. Progressive overload.
Every little bit helps. Absolutely, absolutely. So the first thing I recommend is L-theanine. Now, Chuck, have you heard of L-theanine before?
I've heard you mention it, but I'm completely unaware what it actually does.
Yeah, so L-theanine is a type of amino acid that is found in tea. You probably have heard of like, oh, health benefits of green tea. A lot of it is
Right.
associated with L-theanine. Right, and I don't actually remember exactly how much you get from L-theanine, but the main benefits are cognitive, right? So it
Oh,
helps with,
okay. Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of good quality pre-workout supplements will have it, and actually they're pretty good doses. So I'm always surprised when I see a good pre-workout with appropriate dose of L-theanine. So L-theanine primarily will help with a feeling of focus, a feeling of almost like relaxation and taking away the anxiety, but still helping you not to be tired, but focused and wakeful.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's not necessarily a stimulant, but it's much more of a takes away. So I recommend taking about 100 to 100 milligrams of it. So 100 to 100 milligrams of it a day. And I would also recommend pairing it with caffeine. So what it does, it almost takes the edge off caffeine. In simple terms, if caffeine usually would work like this, it makes the caffeine work more like this.
Oh, so it's like a
Right?
binding receptor delay or something like that, but
Yeah,
still get
yeah,
the benefit. Okay.
that seems to be the benefit of combining caffeine and L-theanine, especially
Interesting.
people who work out longer. No, there's other ways to make caffeine last longer per se, not have quite as high of a high as low of a low. But mixing caffeine and L-theanine is a good way. So the first thing I'd recommend is L-theanine, 100 to 200 milligrams. You should be good.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good to know. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's other benefits to it. We're talking about primarily performance, but L-theanine, things lowering cancer, improving immune system, all of those things. But primarily we're here about for performance and improving your workouts.
Right. Right.
The next one that you've definitely heard about is taurine,
Yes, I have heard of taurine.
right? Yes, yes. So taurine is, Red Bull is famous for taurine. I
Hmm.
believe that's why they have the bull on it. Don't quote me on
That
it,
would
but
make sense, Taros. That makes sense. I get it.
you're right. Yeah, I think that's why they have the bull on it. But most, I think, like 9 times out of 10, a energy drink in a can will have taurine.
Is it just like the
Um,
most simple, like easy to digest type stimulant? Is that why it's everywhere, or is it just the cheapest? Like, what's the?
so taurine is weird. So there's a bunch of studies on it, and honestly, for the longest time, I was skeptical on it because it's just in everything.
Hmm.
What taurine is also it's a semi-essential sulfur-containing amino acid. So it's also an amino acid. A lot of those things are going to be amino acids, which is the type of protein, basically.
Right.
Um, it is a complex thing. I don't understand it completely, but what we do have is we have a lot of research on it.
Okay.
Right? I don't exactly understand the pathway of how it acts, but we have a lot of research on its effectiveness.
Okay.
Right, so I have 3 studies here that shows that anywhere between zero point 0.5 grams, so a pretty small dose, 500 milligrams, upwards of 6 grams, and all of those ranges have an improved effect on performance. Anything from aerobic and anaerobic performance, so both cardiovascular and strength training, improvements on recovery, and improvements in performance in even elite athletes.
Oh wow. Okay.
So there's a lot of research, a lot of studies. Those are just 3 I have pulled up in front of me. But taurine, even at very small doses, seems to be both effective for performance and recovery, and at higher doses can be effective as well. It seems safe as of right now, so I would recommend taking it.
Okay. There you go. Drink your
Yep.
Red Bulls, kids.
Yep. And the cool thing, even low dose, as low as 500 milligrams or half a gram, upwards of 6 grams, seems to be effective.
Okay. It's always look at with a stimulant, like always start lower on these scales that if you're newer to it until you see how your body reacts and then, adjust accordingly. And
Hmm.
talk to an actual doctor.
Yes.
Let's do
Yeah.
that.
If you ever,
This is a, this
if
is
you
this is
were,
definitely talk to
yes,
your doctor type chat.
yes. If you ever worried about it, if you're a generally healthy person with no issues, you're probably fine. Disclaimer is
It's
still there,
because
but
you're
you're
gonna be,
probably fine.
you'll be buying it stuff that you'll be buying it in pre-made stuff at like a gas station or a grocery
Exactly.
store. So,
Exactly.
but in general, talk to a health professional about this for
If
yourself
you're
if you
at
need.
all worried about your health, like if you have high blood pressure, if you have any heart issues, especially, those things you probably want to pay attention to. So talk to your doctor.
Yes.
Yeah. And the reality is, your doctor is probably not going to know most of those things unless they're into working out. So they probably have to look into it themselves, look at the studies and research, just the way I do.
Yeah.
All right, the next one is betaine and anhydrous. And guess what? It is also an amino acid derivative.
What? Oh
So
no.
once again, surprised. So betaine and anhydrous, and those are going to be this is going to be the trend with the next 3 things, including betaine, is it retains water and it improves pump, and because it improves pump, it seems to improve performance.
Okay.
Right.
That would make
So
sense. Follows.
exactly, you're retaining more fluid, your muscles are more pumped, you have better mind-muscle connections, a connection, you feel your muscle better. There are a couple studies that I'm looking at right now as well. One has improved muscle endurance, and another one improved both body composition, which means more muscle mass and less fat, arm size, bench press, uh, and tended to improve power output as well.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
there's a few studies on it that seem to be effective. All of those can be found on NCBI. I'm not going to link them because that's a lot of work for you to do,
Yeah.
but it
Thank you.
seems to be an effective supplement, and the dose is about 2.5 grams.
Okay.
So both of the studies I'm looking at had 2.5 grams per day effective dose.
It's pretty remarkable just how small of a dose gets such a good benefit with these two.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So betaine is another thing I take. Now, before we go any further, another thing to keep in mind is those supplements, when we look at studies, they don't just take them on the workout days. They take them every day,
Okay.
right? So that's something to keep in mind is if you're working out 6 days a week, you're probably fine. If you skip a day, not a big deal. But if you're working out 2, 3 days a week on your days off, if you want to get the performance that is associated with the studies we have in research, you probably want to take them every day, even on days off.
Okay. Just so your body
Yeah.
gets adapted to using it at a certain time, and
Yeah, I think that's part of it, and I think another one is just that's the studies we have,
yep,
right?
that's fair.
Studies we
Yeah.
have take them daily. So if you wanted the same effects as the studies, same improvements, you probably want to take it daily as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Uh,
then eventually more studies will come out, and you maybe will see something different. But for now, this is what we
exactly,
have to work with.
exactly,
And
exactly.
also, I'm just gonna give a shout out. If you do want to know more about like this type of stuff, this is what Alex does. So message him on Instagram and have him coach you. So
Yeah.
uh, it's definitely because like we're talking here, but like the reason Alex is doing most of the talking because this is his life.
Yeah, nutrition is fun, and reading those studies is really fun. And anybody in the space, like our friend Josh Taylor's, he does a very similar thing where
Yes.
he looks at studies and sees what's effective. And once again, this stuff is the last 2-4%, right?
Yeah.
If you're not working out consistently, getting stronger with good form, getting good sleep, and paying attention to your nutrition, you shouldn't be doing this, right?
Yeah.
This is take your priorities and put them elsewhere.
Hmm.
But this is for people who are like, okay, I'm kind of dialed in, I'm seeing good results, but I want to take it next step. This is that next step.
Gotcha. Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Perfect description.
Uh,
Anyway,
yes, sir.
what's
Uh,
what's next?
all right. So we talked about betaine for pump. Another thing that's helpful for pumped is L-citrulline.
Is that you?
Uh,
Is that the one? I think you gifted me that supplement
yes.
where it helps like delay, I guess, the lactate buildup. Is that what it does? Or is it
No, that is beta-alanine.
beta-alanine? Sorry, I
Yes.
apologize.
Yeah. So we should talk about it. Two supplements from
Okay,
now.
gotcha.
So L-citrulline helps boost nitric oxide levels in the body, which basically nitric oxide dilates your blood vessels, lowers blood pressure, basically improves the pump once again.
Yeah.
Right, so it improves the pump with a slightly different pathway than betaine and hydrous, but also improves the pump. So I take both of them, improve vascularity, improves pump, may increase performance and mind-muscle connection. Very similar thing. Once again, anything that improves your pump, increases water retention, increases vascularity.
Hmm.
If you have any heart issues ever, check with your doctor.
Yeah.
Right? If you have history of heart issues, check with your doctor. I don't, so I don't worry about it. But that's something you want to pay attention to.
Right. Now, is this the one too with the side effect of ants?
No, that's also bad
That's
alanine.
been on. Okay, okay. Because I
Yes,
was curious
yes,
if
yes, yes.
like I said, it's because we should also mention like some of those if there's not it's not a negative side effect. It's just an unexpected thing. But anyway,
It
when we
is.
get
It
there,
is.
when we get there.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So far, none of those, at least I'm aware of having any significant side effects. Besides, obviously, betaine and L-citrulline having potential negative side effects on blood pressure and
Right.
heart health.
Yep.
Yeah. Especially if you already have it present. So with L-citrulline, that's the first one. We have a pretty dang high dose. I recommend somewhere between 6 to 10 grams a day,
Oh wow.
which is a pain to take. All right.
Yeah.
So actually, I put it in my shaker container, and it's like two heaping scoops.
Ooh.
So it's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot. So that's the first one. That's a higher dose. So just keep that in mind.
Gotcha.
All right. So last thing for a pump is something you might have not heard of. It's a very niche supplement. It's called sodium.
What salt
Yeah, pretty
in the
wild.
layman's terms? Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mind blown. Yeah, just sodium, right? Sodium improves water retention.
Yep.
If you have retain more water, simple as you're going to have more water in your muscles. Muscle bellies are going to be fuller, and you're going to feel better pump, better mind
And
muscle connection.
help eliminate cramps down the road too.
Absolutely.
Like yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So that
especially if you're.
and like it does seem weird, but yeah, like, yeah. I remember the first time I'm having a shaker with like water and some creatine in it, and it's just like a what teaspoon of salt or something, like something very.
Mhm.
You like this
Even
is
less than that.
it feels weird to do it, but you don't taste it. It's fine, and it actually helps you.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, heart issues, don't do it. Like the
Fair.
opposite. You want to
Yeah.
cut down on salt. But we're talking to a general person who wants to improve their performance. It will improve your pump. And I'd recommend anywhere between 500 to 1,000 milligrams. There's no reason to do much more than that. So that would honestly be only about a quarter to a half a teaspoon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
It's
not a whole
not
lot.
a ton.
Doesn't have to be a lot. You could always do a little more if you need more, but don't overdo it either. And yeah, that's as
Yeah.
simple as that.
And to be
Very
fair
cheap.
too, yeah, you can always also look like you might have a higher sodium intake from food just naturally. So
Yes.
like salt doesn't bother me, so I probably have more salt in my food than maybe some other people. So I really don't need to add it to my shaker anymore because of just what I
Yes.
eat. So things like that, like that, you
Yes.
don't want to take it if you don't need to.
Yes. So if your diet is very clean, very low processed foods, and I mean, maybe you salt your food, but you don't go overboard. Yeah, salt would be helpful. But if you eat some processed food here and there, or if you already salt your food plenty, then yeah, you probably don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because general salt guidelines for Americans is 2,400 milligrams a day, I believe.
Okay.
So a lot of the health and fitness industry is moving more towards 4 grams a day if you are active and working out. So,
Yeah, the way I've always kind of treated it, like I said, I remember doing it when I was doing CrossFit because like I was not getting enough salt, especially when I was on a cut. But ever since then, like if I'm not cutting and I'm just eating normally and going, like I don't worry about my salt intake because like one,
mhm,
I try not to eat processed. I will on occasion because it's just the part of what the world we in.
sure.
Um, but yeah, like I don't ever stress about salt because I'm active. So
Hmm.
it's an interesting thing. So yeah,
Exactly.
it's you don't think about it, but you might have to, you might not.
You're active and you also eat overall healthy. So that's why
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about salt.
yeah. Like
Yep.
okay, I might have one or two meals a week that are processed. I'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I have one more for you
Ooh, okay. What do you got?
to add to the list. That's the one that I have gotten you in the past
Hmm.
is beta alanine.
I still have some. I
So
still have some.
very good,
Yep.
very good. So over time, I would actually, I would still say it's an effective. It truly is an effective compound. However, I am putting it last
Okay.
on the list of things I mentioned. I would say it's least effective because of a couple of things. Number one, it seems to improve effectiveness when you are doing exercise over 1 minute, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So if you're doing supersets, if you're doing drop sets, if you're doing pause rest stuff, it could be very effective, right? Or even if you're just doing crazy high rep work, which I don't know what kind of high rep work you would be doing for a set to be over 1 minute, but if you are, it
CrossFit.
would be helpful. Yeah, if you're doing cardio stuff
Yeah.
or aerobic stuff, that could be very helpful. But I do a lot of drop sets. I do a lot of supersets to be
Yeah.
efficient, so that can be very helpful in that context as well.
That's true.
That's the one that reduces lactic concentrations, lactic acid, and it just basically takes that feeling of pain further, and so basically helps regulate lactic acid buildup in muscles, which is primary cause of muscle fatigue, which can help you to basically like pull out another rep or two.
Yeah. There we go.
Yep. Yep, that one you want to take 3 to 6 grams a day. And with beta alanine, you do also get a feeling, I believe it's called paresthesia, which is the ants under the skin.
Yeah. But you might get it, you might not. I've never had it, but I know you
Yep,
said you have, right?
yep, you might. Yeah, it's common. It's very common. Usually you adapt to it, so you take it daily, it goes away, or very very noticeable. Like I took it yesterday, did not notice it at all at the gym, and I get it in my arms primarily,
Oh
so
shit.
I feel great,
Yeah.
right? I've heard of people get it on their scalp and on their like butt,
Yeah.
and they don't love it.
Yeah.
So could be helpful, could be not.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said, it's I've never experienced it, but maybe I needed to take more. I don't know. So it's
yeah,
but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, no, that's fun. That's a nice little Zinchian cocktail to
absolutely.
add to the repertoire. So, and like once again, talk to your doctor, do all that fun stuff. If you really want like a dietitian's advice on this, actually reach out to Alex or Josh Taylor, one of the other like people out there that actually coach on this stuff, and they can point you in the right direction and make sure you get all the guidelines appropriate.
Yep. And just a disclaimer, even in my personal practice, this this stack I give to maybe one person out of 10. Right?
Yeah.
It's just not necessary for most people. I take it because it gives me just a very small edge. And if you have the money to spend, you could take it. But keep in mind, nutrition, exercise, lifestyle should be first.
Yep. Fair enough. Perfect.
Very
Well,
good.
with the strength talk by the way, Alex, I do have to find out how's your hobby been lately.
Well, I've been thinking a lot about what I want to bring to Tyrathi.
Yep, coming January.
Yeah, it's a little under a month left, and I don't know if I want to try to paint a whole army
That's
or if I
fair.
just want to bring high elves.
That's fair. I'd say you
Yeah,
should probably either rebase or bring high elves.
but it could be really fun to paint a whole army.
Hey, well, you know your schedule better than us, so okay.
That's true.
Okay, so
That's
you're
true.
Terathi prep in full for you. That's your hobby right now.
Oh yeah, yes, I did. I did almost finish this book.
Oh,
I don't want it to end. I have like a few pages
oh
left,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't want it to end so bad. But I'm also very anxious to find out what happens.
Nice.
And lastly,
Oh yes, we're good.
I also got this book
Ooh,
by Dan
Dan Abnett.
Abnett,
Yep,
The
nice.
Riders of the Dead. So I'm excited for that as well.
I just it's I'll save my hobby talk for the Neil side of things, but this associates. I picked up the Malice Darkblade, the core
Very
book
good.
series. I found them really cheap on Amazon,
Very
like
good.
the old copies. So Those will be arriving in the next couple days.
Nice.
Fortunately, I have a couple books in front of it, but I'm looking forward to getting those read at some point. And then eventually, I have to figure out how to get the end times versions, which
Oh wow.
because there's like 2 books in the end times, and like the price skyrockets on those physical copies because they didn't reproduce them yet. So,
That's fair. That's fair.
and I'm just
Well, you
not.
could always put it on social media, see if somebody has it.
Yeah, I could. Like I said, the thing I have, like I could get the e-reader form, but I don't like reading. I like a physical book.
Yeah, me too.
And I could do
Big time.
audiobooks, but like I just prefer not to. If like especially if I have a collection. But
Yeah, I get that.
oh well, oh well. But oh
Hope
hey,
you get it.
I hope I will. But we'll get there when we get there. Um, More importantly, did you see the news?
That the show is continuing to
Yep,
go
and
forth
Henry
strong.
Cavill posted Warhammer
Yes.
content, and we're all excited for it.
Oh my goodness, the Emperor has spoken.
Yes, he has. He has.
I'm very excited. I like that it did. Was it on the release of the secret level?
Yeah, he released it. That was posted at the same time, so
Yeah.
probably something was tied with that somehow.
Yeah.
I have zero insight, personally, even though I've done stuff for Games Workshop. I just hope
Yeah.
I just hope I can eventually become Dead Guardsman number 5,682 in the TV
That'd be
series.
awesome.
That'd be so
That'd
cool,
be
but I'm not holding
that'd
my
be
breath.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but I'm
One day.
excited. I'm excited that the man who loves the setting and is very adamant about being IP appropriate, and
Hmm.
also is looks to be a cool dude overall, a father,
Yeah.
loves fitness, taking care of himself, and all that sort of stuff, and just a general nice person, is leading that charge. So I'm excited for it. So that's some exciting
It's
news.
it's very cool. As a person who cares about health in the Warhammer community, there could not be a better person, better representative leading it.
Yes,
So that's cool.
and maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll link Henry Cavill's post about it to the bottom of this show, so you can go check out the man himself and what he said in
Get
case you
it
missed
three
it.
more views of people in your channel who hasn't seen it.
Exactly, exactly. I'm sure most
Yeah.
people on the channel have, but I'll link it. Whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
just a good idea.
but and also, yeah, real quick, the secret levels. That came out. I watched these. I've watched about half of them so far. Like the Armored Core one was okay. The Unreal Tournament one was really good.
Mm,
And the Space Marine one is just phenomenal. We watched it a couple times so far, like at the club. So, um, yeah, go watch it. It's fun. It's really good.
absolutely. Very good.
Right. All right, Alex. We will see you in a week's time. So keep enjoying that bulk while you got it.
Few more weeks.
And we're back. Second half of the Strength Hammer podcast. Neil, how you doing? Welcome to episode 117. Because people would not expect you to show up as the regular co-host of this show. I guess I don't know why I'm saying it this way.
Well, not on time anyway.
That's fine. That's fine.
People who know me know that for me to be late, it is like it's gut wrenching. I despise being late to anything actually, and yeah. So none of you. I'm not late for any of you, but for my friend Chuck here, just a couple minutes.
It's a couple minutes. It's fine. I'm
Maybe
not.
almost half an hour.
It's. I think it's worse if you're late for Dave. Me, I get over it. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick. This episode's coming out Friday, December 13th, right?
Ooh.
Yes, we're it always comes out the day after we record. So this is a little insight here. Neil, what else is going on December 13th? Friday the 13th. What's going on? Any idea?
For me?
No, just in the world. It's a big event.
Oh, I got nothing. I don't
Take a
know.
guess. Take a wild guess.
I have no guesses.
All right, boom. That's right. It's Taylor Swift's birthday, everybody.
Oh my god.
So we got her up on screen from the concert I attended as per usual.
Oh, now it all makes sense. So, with that news, let me share some Taylor Swift news of my own.
All right, yes. Happy birthday, Taylor Swift. I hope you're having a great day because you make all of our lives better. But Neil, back
Happy
to us.
birthday day. We're on like that kind of name basis, I'm sure.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, but so the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland here is throwing a Taylor Swift Day tomorrow. So everything Taylor Swift, right? So my daughter and many of her friends are going up. They're playing Taylor Swift music for like 3 hours in the Rock Hall straight tomorrow. So they're doing all sorts of Taylor Swift type things tomorrow, and just so happens too that this weekend the Chiefs are in town.
Huh.
So we are crossing our fingers.
You never know.
We never know.
You never
You
know.
never know. Who knows? stranger things have happened.
That's true. That's true.
But here's to hoping. My daughter's kind of hoping that somehow, some way, there's like a surprise cameo or something.
To be fair, if it happens, they won't even know. Taylor Swift, she's the type of person, she will just show up unannounced and be like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
So there'll be no fanfare until it happens, if it happens. So I hope so. Over here in Pittsburgh at the Carnegie Science Center, they're doing a Taylor Swift theme night tomorrow. I was gonna go, but wife didn't want to, and I can't find anybody else that want to go with me. So it's fine.
That's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow, I mean, it's her birthday. Like we are. You know, in 10 years when she decides to run for president, we'll just make that birthday a national holiday.
Yeah.
We'll still get that off before we get off election day. That's just how it's going to work.
I can understand why your wife might be look a little cross-eyed and you going to celebrate, some other bitch's birthday.
Actually, to be fair, it's not a birthday celebration. It's just like music and stuff.
I know. I'm just playing with you.
Oh, it's good. But yes. Today is Taylor Swift's birthday, so enjoy, everybody. But Neil, back to the Warhammer. That's what we're here for tonight. Actually, no, scratch that. Screw the Warhammer. How's your lawn? Or snow shoveled driveway sidewalk?
It's got a dusting of snow right now.
Okay.
Gorgeous. Just enough.
That's nice.
Not enough where I got a shovel. Enough to feel like it's Christmas.
That's good. What's nice that you're a little bit farther north. My snow melted today. It's still cold, but the sun hit it enough that it melted off.
We get the lake effect. We get hit by the outer edge of the Cleveland lake effect over here. So
yeah. We get when we get the lake effect, that means you got 8 times as much. So that's good. Okay, yeah. Lawn's doing well. My lawn, like I said, much the same. It's melted, but it's still in good standing condition. As I mentioned earlier, once again, remind everybody, even though it's been 30 seconds for you, it's been 10 hours for me. If you'd like to have a new idea for us to talk in the lawn talk segment, since it's going to be winter for a couple months, please let us know down below.
Right. It's going to be various grades of inches of snow for the next 4 months.
And how much we don't want to shovel it.
Right.
That's good. Okay, anyway, now to the Warhammer. Neo, how's your hobby been?
Well, I got a game of Old World in.
Ooh.
So I got to play ogres for the first time.
Nice.
I don't know that I've ever. No, I played ogres in 7th edition of Fantasy.
Wow. Okay, so you avoided the worst version of them, which was 8th, as far as I'm aware. It was a nightmare. There was like.
Oh, I take it back. I did play, I guess, at Teyrathi a couple years ago against ogres.
Okay, so you did. Okay, yeah, that was probably Tom. Yeah, so you played the worst version.
Yes. So, what you gonna do? But yeah, it's a good game. Carl is just learning the rules. He's flabbergasted by some of them, wondering why. You got a line of you got a block of troops, right? Let's just say they're 7 wide by 4 deep, and he wants to know if he's got one ogre on the very corner, why the guy 5 inches away in the front rank can attack, but the guy immediately behind can't attack. And it's right next to the ogre. Now, to be fair, Carl is very much an Age of Sigmar player, and he's wondering range-wise why that would be a thing. And I understand that visually it doesn't look good either.
It's the press and flow of combat. That's what it's supposed to simulate.
I tried to explain that he wasn't buying it. But anyway, so I had to talk him down on a few rules that made his hair want to fall out. But outside of that, we had a good game. So
it's funny that you mentioned it, because he messaged me earlier. He was looking at the Teyrathi pack, and he says, "What does it mean for the exemplary awards? The belt and the brick. One is what would Teyrathi do, and the brick is what would Morathi Kane do." He's like, "What does that mean?" My response was kind of like, "What do you think it means?"
Yeah.
He's just like, "Well, great."
He sent me the same message. I was like, Teyrathi equals good, Morathi equals bad. That's all I gave.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Yeah. It's like, what does that mean in the context? Ugh. All right, so some old world. That's great. Any painting, or are you relaxing after you're finishing your latest army?
Yeah, and I'm just like I'm just having a little fun with some Heroes Quest characters, real quick paints. Like we're talking like knocking out a little hero that I 3D printed, or that's from the game itself. Like I don't know, like one every so often, one a night. I mean, I can finish one in a night.
Yeah,
they're not gorgeous, paint jobs, but hey, they're game pieces and they're playable and
Yeah.
it's paint on them. So
You're having fun.
I'll take it. So I had a guy today that I was trying to work. He's got a goatee and a very small face.
Oh,
All right?
okay.
Like my brush is like 3/4 the size of his face, and the goatee is maybe a quarter the size of his face. And it's very hard not to just make it look like a black, smudge on his face, right? Like it's beyond. Like Carl, for instance, is very good at painting faces. I am atrociously bad at it, to the point where if it's like skin, I'll just take it's like a wash, like a skin wash, and then I'm done. Okay, I'm not putting any eyebrows on this guy. I'm not dotting eyes. I'm not doing any of that, because if I do it, it looks like, like there's just I don't know how to do it. I've been painting for 30 years now. Still don't know how to do it. I'll never know how to do it. Not going to happen. So just you gotta just understand, your limits sometimes. So.
You have to pick and choose. The only army that I said for characters, I'll put the eyebrows, I'll put the stuff on. Dwarves, it's pretty easy to do eyebrows. I've actually kind of given up on even doing eyes for dwarves, because I put the wash in, you can't see it anyway. But like my Daughters of Cain are essentially, they have all the eyes and eyebrows done. But that's like the only army.
Yeah.
Like maybe eyebrows here and there if it's like a big.
They would look
one.
all unibrowed, and like their eyebrows would be about this big on there. So it's just no point for me. So.
Hey, you're getting it painted, which is the key.
Exactly.
That's good. That's a good amount of hobby. I'm not sure if I mentioned in the last show, but we had a Sigmar Club Day. I forgot to mention this. I completely forgot to mention it. We had a good time. I got a game of Spearhead in, as well as we did like a 1v1v1v1 type match with like 1,000 points, which was fun because I just did the teleport Daughters of Cain, threw myself into the center as the center of objective, and I let everybody charge me, and they killed me in 2 turns, and then they just fought in the middle. It was a great time. But Spearhead is really good.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a lot of in-store tournaments with that, and that's I think like the perfect spot for something like that. They're doing 2-day events where they play a bunch of games, and apparently you can rifle through these things pretty quick. I've still not played a game of it. I'd like to at some point, but now I've got Brewhammer coming, and Brewhammer is not Spearhead, and so gonna have to figure out the main game here. I also have to figure out who I'm gonna play, because it's not going to be Caradron Overlords. I don't hate myself that much. Close, but not that much. So I'm thinking it's going to be Blades of Corn, something that I can just go, okay, here's a bunch of 3+ saves, push forward, and then lose, and that's fine, because maybe they'll stick around for a little while, and I'll get to roll some dice and have some fun, and then that'll be that. But it is Age of Sigmar, so generally, if you don't charge with the right thing, you will be charged, and your unit will be deleted. So
yes.
Regardless of your 3+ save or not. So
that's fair. Yeah, I can just say Spearhead is fantastic. I could teach it very well. So if at some point you should play it, you'll really enjoy it. The kids would like it too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I too signed up for Brewhammer. I do need to. I this coming weekend I have another club day for Sigmar / fantasy. Most people bring Sigmar to it, but which I need to once again get some more reps in. The last club day, I forgot to bring any manifestations because I forgot they are free, because I hate that rule so much.
Oh yeah, I will not be bringing any manifestations now.
I'm gonna bring them. Doesn't mean I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna bring them.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to learn how to cast prayers. I don't know. So
that's fine. It's a good time. I'm looking forward to it. I'm taking Daughters of Cain. Because I just don't care. I will say this. I've actually thought about asking if they'll let me take that dwarf one that we did the episode on. That was in the White Dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure, because like the more I look at the rules on occasion, I'm like, I think this might be potentially broken in some ways. So it's like, is it worth even asking?
Yeah.
Because then I'm also like learning like 2 different armies instead of one, and it's just like, okay, so maybe just take Daughters of Cain.
Brewhammer's a little bit more relaxed than most, but
It is, and I'm gonna do the opposite of what I did the last Brewhammer I went to, where I built a list entirely to use my battle tactics from the Daughters of Cain book, to just get to the event and find out that they changed it and said no book battle tactics. I'm planning around 0 battle tactics this year.
Yeah.
So I think which means I'll probably get more than I did the last time.
So there is. Keep in mind that I don't know if they'll be doing this again this year. There's no packs been released, but
Yeah.
last year the painting award that I won was not just a painting like, oh, you had the best paint, because obviously I can't fight in that arena, and there is an award for that. However, there is also an award where it's the best paint plus your score for the event. And if you
Oh.
remember last year, I did go 3
Yeah,
and
yeah.
2,
You got a mug that year, yeah.
and so that's how I got the mug, was by going 3 and 2 and having the highest paint score outside of that person who had won. Um, so yeah, most battle points and blah blah blah, whatever. So that's out there for you.
That's like, oh yeah, for sure. And we'll wait to see what the pack entails, because like I think Brewhammer, they're like I said, they're more relaxed, they're more willing to play with things. So
Mhm.
I look forward to whatever they have, and whatever they have, like I said, I'm probably taking Daughter's Gain and gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Worst case, I get to have a couple beers with you. So.
Yeah, I'm just going to be offering beers to people.
Yep.
All of that.
Good old Oland Hangy. Some other hobby for me. I got a lot more hobby this time, I realize. So that just means the main segment will be shorter.
Mhm.
I do ho hobby vices every year. So Warhammer hero Andrew Dart has this worldwide Secret Santa. Goes on. It's worldwide, but this is the first year he hasn't. You're not thrown into a giant pool. You could kind of say like, I just want to do just America, or I want to do America, UK, but if you're in Australia, you're just with Australians, like things like that to keep shipping a little bit easier in the world. But mine's been off. It's off to the UK. They haven't arrived yet, but I look forward to seeing what they think of it.
Mhm.
But mine arrived from I want to make sure I get their Instagram handle right, because they're great painters. It's a great painter. It's a husband and wife team, it looks like. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's simple. So Bright Minis on Instagram, and then the other half is Mrs. Bright Minis. So yeah, husband and wife team. They do a great job. They're in the DC area, so they sent me this lovely shirt. So Pentagon Athletics Club. So it's a nice little long sleeve. It's actually very comfortable. Um,
No,
and they also, I mean, kudos to them, because I put on there like, I like dwarves, I like elves, I like Taylor Swift, I like fitness, all this sort of stuff. So that's why they got me the fitness shirt. They
Mhm.
actually figured out 2 kits that I don't own. I was like, they did their research. They did a good job.
Mhm.
But the Huracan Windmage for Lumineth,
Nice.
and then the River Blades for Lumineth.
Very nice.
Yeah, so they're being built right now. They're my current. I moved them up. They're my current hobby project. So looking forward to that. Also,
Do you have a Lumineth army?
I do. It's techless, the starter stuff, and like a few things here and there.
I don't remember.
It's my red, white, and blue army, because I got it on
That's
the 4th
right.
of
I do
July.
remember.
Yeah.
I do remember. Yep.
I'm just terrible with Lumineth. Like, I look at the rules and go, oh.
Yeah.
So it doesn't come out as often as I'd like, but I enjoy painting it, so I'm looking forward to adding these to it. I picked up another hobby purchase, this time from eBay. There's a book series I've always wanted to read and just never did. Mostly because I say always wanted to read after the end times, and this book was then hard to get at the time. But I found a used copy of the 2 omnibuses I needed. But I'm starting reading Malice Darkblade.
Oh, I've read that.
Yeah, because I was a high elf stan until the end times. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's a little beat
He
up.
got done dirty as hell.
Oh,
in
he
the end
did. Yeah, he did.
I was like, he was like my guy, right? Like, because I didn't have for my Dark Elf army very many named character models, but I had Malice, and yeah, didn't like the way he got treated at the end of that.
Fair enough. Yeah, and this book too, like I said, this book's been through the ringer. It's well loved. But I don't care. It's all there. I'm gonna read this one, and then the second one's gonna arrive by Monday. I can't wait to see what the story's about.
Mhm.
So that should be exciting. And then of course I got my Votan sitting here, just waiting for whenever I feel like doing that. So lots of hobby going on.
Nice.
But with that out of the way, actually it hasn't been too long. We got time. Time to go to the main topic. Neil, you ready?
Let's do it.
You ready to review this book?
Yes,
Are you sure?
I'm ready.
Actually, no, I'm gonna take the blur off here because I'm tired of the visual effects. Let's just take the blur off, because now now people can see when I hold things up here. Like now you can be like, oh look, you can tell what the book is now as opposed to being blurry. So yes, today everybody, as you would have guessed, we're doing a book review. That's right, we're doing a review of the Taylor Swift Eras Tour book in full. Neil, you got your copy right here. So from page 1.
It's in the mail. Yeah.
I promise that's the last planned Taylor Swift joke. If anything else pops in my head, it's all made up on the fly. But no, we are doing Chaos Warriors Arcane Journal.
Yes.
So there we go. That's what we're gonna do today. So, Neil, how much do you know about Chaos Warriors?
Not a whole lot, a little bit, but I've not played against them yet in Old World, so we'll have to wait till I get up to the barn sometime. But hope to very soon. So
You can come up anytime. You just gotta get away. Yeah, I've gotten to play them a couple times so far. Two different versions really. The more traditional version that I'm used to seeing, it was one of those games where the army feels good to play against, but even when you lose. So it was the traditional. There's 3 heroes. They're getting buffed up as they go with Eye of the Gods rolls, and they have every point possible on them as far as items go. I killed every other piece of his army but those 3 heroes because they became unkillable with like the way the dice rolls worked. And I lost the game because technically they killed more of me than I killed of them because of those 3 heroes.
Yeah.
But it was a fun game because I killed plenty and I felt like I won, even though I technically lost by the rules.
Was one of those heroes on a Chaos Dragon by any chance?
It wasn't on a dragon, it was on a manticore.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
all right.
there was a foot, there was a sorceress, and then there was the one on manticore.
Somebody was feeling generous. All right.
But it was a younger kid, so I don't know. He just liked what he liked.
Sure.
But yeah, like we finished the game, and like we both sitting there, I was like, he's like, yeah, man, look, good game. Looks like you got it. I'm like, I think I did, but we should check the points just to be safe. And it turned out he won by 100 points.
Nice.
It was fun. It was like, yeah, like can't be upset.
Yep.
And then the other versions I've played, just all skirmish, just Marauder skirmish, which to be fair is a harder game to play mentally, but as long as you don't misplay, it's an easier victory. Because like you can take them out. It's just you just have to play almost perfectly, so it's more of a mental drain.
Gotcha.
But both good options. But yeah, just to recap, we're not going to go through unit by unit. We're going to mostly look at the Arcane Journal. There's plenty of other. Look at Square Base. Look at drawing a blank on it. Old World Charm, my favorite. For
Face Hammer's got a good one. I looked at it as well.
Yeah, so those are going to be full army reviews that use that kind of as a preface for this. That we're just talking about what we like. But to give a general idea, Warriors of Chaos army list for the out of the basic book. 50% could be characters, so 0 to 1 Chaos Lords or Demon Prince, 0 to 1 Exalted Champions or Sorcerer Lords per 1,000 points, Inspiring Champions and Exalted Sorceresses. Core, Chaos Warriors, Chaos Marauders, Forsaken, Chaos Knights, Marauder Horsemen, and Chaos Warhounds. Special, and that, of course that's minimum 25, everything else is specials up to 50. 0 to 1 Chosen Chaos Warriors, 0 to 1 Chosen Chaos Knights, Chaos Ogres, Chaos Trolls, Chaos Spawn, Chaos Chariots and Chimeras, and Dragon Ogres, which are technically in the Beastman Brayherd list, which is kind of cool that they just pull over like that. Then rares up to 25% as usual. Gore Beast Chariots, 0 to 1 Hell Cannon per 1,000 points, 0 to 1 Dragon Ogre Shaggoth per unit of Dragon Ogres, and 0 to 1 Chaos Giants. Always take Giants if you can't, because Giants are cool. Right? Is that the rules we say?
I mean, they are a little bit better in Chaos. We'll put it that way. We can put some regen on them, I think.
Of course, there's mercenaries and allies, but I don't really care too much about that. Neil doesn't either, so we won't even mention it.
One day, I just have to get this in here.
Yeah.
One day, and it is not this day, GW will make giant rules that are substantial and playable and not frustrating.
One day.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
In 10 years, I guarantee it will happen. Just call out real quick. It's fun. They have their own special armor values. It's called Chaos Armor. It just is what it is. They have ensorcelled weapons, so they're armor piercing and magical attacks, which is kind of cool. They just have magic attacks pretty easily across the army. Most importantly, we have to call out the gaze of the gods. So during the command sub phase of the turn, a character with a special rule may choose to roll in the gaze of the gods table. You're either damned by chaos, you get negatives, unnatural quickness, you get more initiative, iron skin, you get tougher, extra weapon skill, extra attacks, or just extra leadership. So it's a gambit of good and bad, mostly good. And of course, there's marks of the different gods, so they give you different bonuses based upon what they are, as you would expect. Khorne gives you frenzy, so extra attacks, but you have to charge. What's Nurgle's? You may reroll to hit rolls of a natural. Enemies have to reroll hits rolls of 6, which is kind of cool. Sinesh, you're quicker. Zinch, you get magic stuff. I don't know. And Undivided, you're not afraid because you know Archeon's coming eventually. Well, I guess it's who's the champion that comes up now before Archeon? Cool.
Our ball, the undefeated, is that no?
No, I think it's I forget the one, the Prague one. I'm drawing a blank on it. Yeah, but
I can't think. Oh yeah, our ball, the undefeated, I think was before this time period.
I think so. But yeah, but there's that. So that's all we're gonna worry about. We're not gonna dive too much into everything else because we want to look at this cool book that has the cool rules about the cool things because that's a good base army. Let's make it cooler.
There is one cool rule in here that I cannot wait to talk about.
Okay. Well, if you're following along at home, we are starting with the Wolves of the Sea, page 28 of the Arcane Journal. Neil, you've seen through these. Do you have anything just in general that you love most about the Arcane Journal for these guys?
You talking lore wise, or you talking rule wise?
Any bit that's in this Arcane Journal you think is cool and you want to shout out?
Okay, so I know we're probably going to get into this in a little bit. I can't remember the actual rule. You have to look it up there. But it's basically the rule that at the start of the game, you pick a champion, and your champion basically does a challenge, and you can either accept the challenge and fight for first turn, or you decline the challenge and you automatically lose the first, and the Chaos Warriors get to go first.
It is the coolest rule. Yeah,
such a cool rule. I just love how thematic it is. You know, Chuck and I, we like to chronicle certain things, when we're playing our games, right? I would have a book and I would write down every time, win or lose, what happened in every game with my challenge.
Yep.
Every single time. I would have some champion that is just tooled out with however I could make this guy, like whatever I could do to get this guy as big and tough as possible, load him up with any magic weapons he's allowed to have, because there are some champions out there that can take some magic weapons, and then just run ham. And I don't know, I can't wait till you play ogres that one game, right? And then they pick one of their champions and put them out there. It's just, I guess technically it has to be one wound.
It has to be a one wound. So
the rule does state one wound. So I guess an ogre just has to lose. I don't know how that
because works. You can't. Well, let's read it. Maybe we can piece through it, because maybe you can't issue the challenge. But yeah, it's the coolest rule. Warriors Duel is what it's called. Instead of rolling off to determine which player takes the first turn, you may challenge your opponent to a Warriors Duel. If your opponent accepts, both players choose a single unit champion with a wounds characteristic of 1, whose troop type is infantry or cavalry, from within their army to fight the duel. Chosen combatants then fight as if engaged in a challenge, fighting as many rounds of combat as necessary to determine a victor. Once a victor has been determined, that model's controlling player takes the first turn. Both champions are slain, the players must roll off as normal. The challenge is declined. The Wolves of the Sea count as having won the roll off and can go first, if they choose to. So, I don't remember seeing an FAQ for this specifically. The only FAQ I saw was for Bretonia. So if you're Chaos, they can issue the challenge. It's just you cannot accept technically.
Yeah, technically. So you don't have
an
adequate champion, so you would just lose, I assume.
But the thing is too, you could look at it this way: well, why would a Chaos Warrior back down just because he has more wounds than him?
Right. I'd fight the challenge anyway. Personally.
Yeah, I'd fight the challenge. Probably the way it'd be FAQ'd or ruled at any event for like a competitive tournament would be, you can't issue a challenge if they don't have that model. So just roll off as normal. As boring as it is.
And let's be honest, I've fought some ogre champions, and once you get past that toughness 4, buddy, it's gravy.
It is once you get around it.
They got a 5+ armor max, you know. So who knows? Might take them down.
Really, really, what you want if you want to be a sportsman player, you play ogres. You bring at least one unit of like Noblars that can take a champion or something, and just throw that guy out to die.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you want to roll your eye on the gods for like killing a Noblar? Sure, whatever, have fun.
Yeah.
I have found Neil's a high elf player.
Mhm.
I have found because I've had to fight this duel a couple times now. You know who always wins the challenge or this duel?
What?
Swordmaster champion.
Oh yeah.
Weapon skill
Yeah.
6 is the best defense in that whole situation. It's like you can't
Oh
even
yeah.
hit me. You can't even hit me.
Plus your initiative, right? Your initiative's probably through the roof.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that first round you still get the +1.
Mhm. Yeah, I would. I literally at any list I built, I would have some champion with some extra crap on it, just because I love the thematic. Like, let's please hopefully get. I keep wanting to call them Slaves of Darkness, but
I know it's in our
Warriors
head,
of
yeah.
Chaos. Warriors of Chaos player.
Yeah, I would probably even like kit bash a special person up or go get like a special model like
Mhm.
that it was a limited model for US events for a while that was like the female champion that was in a cool
Mhm.
pose or like get a like Underworlds or a Warcry something, just kit bash it, make it cool
Yeah,
because why not?
absolutely.
All right. So, Wolves of the Sea. So these are the Marauders. This is like the invasion force. This isn't the big heavy knights coming stomping through. This is all the quick guys, lots of skirmishy stuff, attacking early. Um, and this is actually my favorite version of this army, just from
Yeah,
the
me too. Me too. I don't even feel the need to talk about the other kind of the other army.
we'll breeze
Honestly.
past it because it's just chariot cavalry
Yeah,
number
yeah.
18 that we have for
It's the
armies.
same thing, just more horses, right? So, and the chariots are more points and not really. They give you one more attack, one more leadership, and that's worthless for an extra 30 points. And now we've covered that one. So,
Yeah, we did. Not to mention too, there's a lot of Dark Oath models out there for Sigmar that are just begging to be in this army. Like
yeah,
this could
I mean,
be
hobby wise and everything. Like, if you the other army, I'm probably not going to notice. Really, just it's just going to be the fact that you have more cavalry, and let's be honest, that's what you're going to have anyway, right? If you're
right
playing the
now
base
in this game,
right
yeah.
now, until the rules beef up infantry a little bit. Um, so, but when you put a full Marauder army down there, I'm noticing, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
So,
This person's
yeah,
here because he likes the game.
right.
All right, so our army composition. So same percentages as usual, except for rare can be up to 33%, not 25. So you get a little more options here. But characters 0 to 1 Chaos Lord, Daemon Prince or Sorcerer Lord, 0 to 1 Exalted Champions or Exalted Sorcerers per 1,000 points, and Aspiring Champions and Marauder Tribe Chieftains. Your core, it's all the Marauders: Chaos Marauders, Marauder Horsemen, Marauder Tribe Breakers, and Chaos Warhounds. So you're not getting armor here. This is just bodies being thrown around. Your special: Chaos Warriors, Chaos Chariot, Skin Wolves, Marauder Tribe Hurskarls, sorry, and Chaos Spawn.
Huskarls, I think. Right?
Huskarls.
Huskarls.
I know.
Damn,
Um,
Carl.
damn you, Carl. Yeah, so you can still have like that unit of beefiness if you need.
Mm.
It's just that's not the theme. So I honestly bringing like a unit of Chaos Warriors, like a small minimum size unit, and a Chaos Lord, and he just runs around with it, and it's just his entourage, but the rest is Marauders. Just sounds so cool to me.
Mhm.
Like that's the theme I want. Like they're following this guy who thinks he's a badass, and he's a badass with these guys, but then he's
Mhm.
just a nobody back in the main force.
Yeah.
Uh,
Their stats are very much in line with like an Empire hero
yeah,
as well, which I think is cool because I mean they're just getting their start here. They're not like they shouldn't be all beefed up like a favored by the gods kind of hero.
yeah. I mean, this type of army too plays into how you and I are doing our high elves too, where we thought about the theme of what's going to actually travel to the old world.
Mhm.
Like I have my theme of what I thought would go based upon like lots of Sea Guard type stuff. Like okay, here's one unit Dragon Princes because they want to claim all the glory, and then I brought in my sisters because that was my one fun choice. Same thing with you. You're all scouts.
Mhm.
But as time goes on, you'll add in the Phoenix Guard. You'll add in this beast that suddenly appears because you've established your foothold. That's what this could be too. You start with this army, And over time, you build towards more of the traditional army by adding more Chaos Warriors and your champion actually growing, which is just a cool concept of how you should play this game.
Mhm.
I'm telling everybody how to play this game. Neil, do you agree with me?
I mean, we're very similar in our thoughts here. So I have always thought fantasy plays better um, with a narrative influence. So
Yeah.
not necessarily narrative games. You can still play your pitch battles, right? But with a narrative influence. And I mean, I think tournament play, as I've always said on this thing, is absolutely necessary.
Yep.
And it's good to have people who are out there who are pushing the meta, who are finding the things that need to be found and need to be changed and all of that kind of stuff. But if you're playing just for some beer and pretzels, best way is with a little narrative fling.
Yeah,
So,
you got to have that flavor.
mhm,
That you guess what's not indexed? Fantasy.
mhm.
We still have our flavor. Rare. It's at 33%, which is a nice change. You got Chaos Ogres, Chaos Trolls, Dragon Ogres. Gigantic Spawn, which I got to face one of those. That was not fun. That was tough.
Yeah, I've heard those are actually. I actually recently watched a video on like ranking monsters, and I've heard those are up there
Yeah.
pretty good. So
Yeah, and the person I played, Tom, he was playing a Corn theme list, so he actually was using all Sigmar Corn models from Marauders, like using the Reavers and stuff like that. And he had the not the is it the Mutalith Mutalith Vortex Beast. What's the non Zinch version, the Corn version?
oh yeah. The Slaughter Brute.
Slaughter Brute. Yes, he was using that since it's not in this game as his giant Chaos Spawn, and it worked perfectly. And it was
Nice.
themed to match his army.
Those are hard to find these days.
He's got quite a collection. He doesn't paint anything too often, but he's got
around.
yeah. 0-1 Dragon Ogre Shagus and 0-1 Chaos Giants. So pretty cool. So that's it. Big bodies. You're getting a horde army. Let's see. Other than the Warriors duel, there's a couple other options here. Favor of the Gods. If anyone from this army kills their opponent in a challenge, you roll on the Gaze of the Gods. In addition, should a thing from this army claim a standard as a trophy from war, the unit may immediately make a Gaze of the God. So you have extra options to make Gaze of the God rules to get those bonuses going up, which, like I said, when those heroes start getting those rules going, and he gets tougher and quicker, and it just becomes a nightmare to try and take him off unless someone has a dragon.
Yeah.
Or something just really strong to get through.
Mhm.
They also have Seaborn Raiders. So units of Chaos Marauders and Marauder Horsemen within Wolves of the Sea Army have ambush rule for additional 1 point per model. If you're infantry or cavalry, they get ambush for 10 points per model. So coming in on the back edge behind your army is pretty tough to deal with.
Mhm.
Especially when these guys can be skirmish if they want. I think with the upgrades, like it gets pretty pricey, but they're still pretty cheap.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're playing any sort of war machines or anything like that, say goodbye. Right.
Oh, yeah.
So, and when they ambush in, I don't think they can charge the first turn, right? But
they can't, and they still have to be, I think, 9 inches away. So
but you still either have to plan for it or like you got to flip a whole unit around to go after them. Not happening, right? It's like now your whole battle line screwed. So yeah, I haven't played too much with ambushers. I'm very curious to do it now that the 3D printer will be up and running after Christmas. I'm very tempted to build out that Arcane Journal army that's the all cavalry with the wolf riders and the war boys and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, very curious for that.
I think that one's even more powerful because I think if you take that character, he can plus or minus that roll.
Yeah,
So it's a little bit more guaranteed when you want them to come in, as opposed to just a flat dice roll.
Right.
Yeah, it's odd because I've had times where I just stayed back and defended against ambushers, and didn't do well. And there's times where I've just ignored them, let them charge them in my rear, and I still beat them. And I'm like, okay, I don't.
Yeah. And when it's wolf riders,
Wolf riders are different.
They're not good. They're not. Well, no, they're not very good. So like they either shoot you. Like I don't know. I'll have to play with it. But they've never done much for me whenever they've charged in. In fact, they've usually charged in because they're not intrepid. What's the rule?
Impetuous.
Impetuous. Yes. Yeah. So they'll charge in like they just absolutely bounced off some ogres. It was pretty funny.
I saw a unit of like 6 or 7 wolf riders charge into. I think I had like 8 white lions and just took them all off.
The White Lions.
The white lions got taken off. It was only 8. It was a small unit, but yeah, like the wolves have done work against me. The marauders, I'm not as afraid of. The wolves,
Man, that
yeah,
weapon skill 3, you know, 1 attack, strength 3, no armor piercing. You know, well, must have got lucky.
yep. Still, I'm afraid of them. That's the problem.
Yeah, and the goblins are even worse. Weapon skill
Yeah,
2.
the wolves did all the work. Oh. So here's the other army, the one that Neil ran through in 10 seconds. The Heralds of Darkness. 50% characters, 33% has to be core, 50% special, 25% rare. So you get smaller core, which is interesting. But it's the mounted list. So 0 to 1 Chaos Lord or Demon Prince. 0 to 1 Exalted Champion or Sorcerer per 1,000. Aspiring Champions and Exalted Sorceress. 33% of your armies is, the core. 1 minimum unit of Chaos Knights. Marauder Horsemen or Chaos Warhounds, and 0 to 1 Chaos Chariots may be taken as core. Your special, 0 to 1 Chosen Chaos Knights, 0 to 1 Chosen Chaos Chariot per 1,000. Chaos Spawn, Chaos Chariot, Chimeras, Dragon Ogres, and rares, Gore Beast Chariot, Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, Gigantic Chaos Spawn, 0 to 1, 0 to 1 Chaos Giant, and 0 to 1 Warpfire Dragon. It's all, yeah, but like you're going to put everything mounted here. That's kind of what you want. Other than, I guess,
There is
Chaos
one
Mounted.
thing. There is one thing that is I find very cool in this, and that is Dwarf Fire Dragon.
That is very true.
I love. I mean, not just for this army. And I love that its rules are great. I think it's a cool looking sculpt. Glad to see it coming back. This is one of those old Forge World models that kind of disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I don't know why, but they did, and that's giving me a lot of hope that perhaps we'll see a few more of those things return.
You talking about a specific sea monster for the High Elves, potentially? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will buy that thing immediately.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm. We won't mention it. We won't jinx it yet.
Yep.
All right, so some of their special rules. Mounted host. All characters must be mounted or have fly. So you got to go quick. You have Steeds of Darkness. When a unit in this army whose troop type is cavalry or chariot makes a charge, flee, or pursue, may roll a dice, re-roll dice of natural 1 before discarding. So you're going to go farther more often. And the Shadow Grows. For each character in the army that has a Mark of Chaos, other than the Mark of Chaos Undivided, may also include a non-character unit of the same mark and vice versa. So just a way to mark it up. But yeah, you're going to be all cavalry. You're going to be all chariots. You're going to be all running forward. To be fair, I think you and I have both done this. I know other people I know in my club have seen this too. It's fun to have a cavalry army mixed in here and there, but I feel like every Arcane Journal, except for dwarves, obviously, they're just like, hey, here's a cavalry army. Like,
right.
I know you can guys do. There's more interesting things out there than cavalry, which sucks because I think this is probably the best one to have a cavalry army in.
You're right.
It fits the theme a lot more of them, but man.
Well, you've got one army, the Bretonnians, who just are a cavalry army, right? So there's one, right?
Right.
And then you got the Orcs and Goblins got one in their Arcane Journal, right? So
technically the dwarves don't have one, but there's the one where you can take extra different types of copters. So that's as cavalry as they can get.
Yeah, let's fix that, by the way, GW. Let's get these things some bears or something, some polar bears. If you're not going to give it to Kaislev, you're not going to give me Kaislev. You're going to give me some dwarves or some polar bears. Come on now.
Mm-hmm. Bear riding slayers.
A lot of TED Talks today. A lot of TED Talks. Maybe some hogs, some pigs. I don't know, man. I guess the pigs are taken by the Orcs and Goblins.
Well, at least we have the brew cart where we can go faster.
Yeah. Give me some goats. Give me some dwarves on goats.
Oh yeah, dwarves and goats would be sick.
Right, some rams. That'd be.
Make them heavy cavalry. Make them immune to 3, and just put 2 slayers on the back of them. That's what it is. They're just 2 slayers riding goats, drunk, and just going to town. That would be the most Warhammer.
That would be excellent for some slayers on some goats. Let's do it.
Be the most Warhammer thing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
So we do have new characters in here, Neil. Have you checked up on these new characters?
I have. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we have Friedel, the Chainmaker, who has a model now. I don't know. Has it been released yet? I think it's been released. I forget.
I don't know that I've seen it.
You've seen it.
Maybe I have.
Yeah, you've seen it.
I can't remember it though. It didn't stand out to me if I did.
She's a cool chaos warrior with a flail.
Okay.
But
Flail's what you want.
she's kind of like the lead character in the story that's going on in this little arcane journal too. But she's a heavy infantry. Weapon skill 6, which is great. Ballistic skill 3, she doesn't care about that. Strength 5, amazing. Toughness 4, also great. 3 wounds, niche 5, 4 attacks.
So strength 5, that makes her strength 6? What was the flail?
Well, she has Storm's Wrath. Combat strength plus 2, AP 1, extra attacks D3, magic attacks requires 2 hands. Oh, wow. So she's going to be striking last.
But strength 7.
But she's going to be strength 7 with 4 plus D3 attacks, all -1.
4 plus D3.
Yeah.
Goodness, you better take this B out quick.
Yeah, you better. She also has impact hits when she charges you. So if she's charging you, yeah, that's the best case, because then she's gonna be, probably niche 4.
Right.
She'll impact you,
She's a foot hero, correct?
She's a foot hero, yeah. So she's not. It's odd because she's not. She can go in the. I think she can fit for the Wolves of the Sea, but she can't go in the horse one, the cavalry one.
Ooh.
But I think her story is about the she's leading the invasion force down, so it makes sense to being in the one.
Sure.
She's got ambusher too. That's pretty good.
Any rules to get her in there faster on the ambush, like Kick Nick?
We'll check that out as we get through there. Let's see. She has some special rules. Chaos armor 5+. She has technically she has a full plate and shield. Magic attacks, essentially its source of weapon. Gaze of the Gods, impact hits. She has to be Mark of Chaos Undivided. Right. So she can't get any extra bonuses there. She's just crazy leadership. So her abilities. So she has Chainmaker. Any enemy captured, any enemy standard captured by her or a unit she's joined is worth an additional 100 victory points.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That can swing a lot of games real quick if you get her into the right place.
Extra 100 points?
Yep. I don't care if that banner costs you 12. It's 100 points for me.
Yeah. Well, I will say too, I'm glad that they made it significant, right? Because sometimes with these rules, they'll be like, it's worth an extra 5 points. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's significant, so great.
And she'll roll and Gaze of the Gods for it too, with the way the army rule works. So she's also got Commander and Captain. Unless she is fleeing, friendly units of Chaos Marauders, Marauder Horsemen, and Marauder Tribe Huskarls, whatever you want to call them, and Marauder Tribe Berserkers gain +1 modifier to the leadership while they're within her command range, up to 10. So once again, high leadership army because of her.
Yeah.
And then she's got Peerless Raider, 0 to 1 unit of Chaos Marauders or Marauder Horsemen in the same muster list, so your army list, as Friedel, may have Ambusher special rule for free. So you're not paying that extra point per model. In addition, if she's your general, which she probably should be, you may apply a +1 or -1 modifier to the result when rolling to determine if she or any unit of Chaos Marauders, Marauder Horsemen, or Marauder Tribe Huskarls or Marauder Tribe Berserkers with the ambush special rule are currently held in reserve. So she can give the +/-1 to not just her and her unit, to any of them. So yeah, take her. Like, if you take her as the general, if you're taking that Wolves of the Sea, because 235 points. She help you, yeah.
Yep. For a non-mage general, it's a nice amount of points.
And she's going to earn at least half her points back at the first enemy banner that you capture with her unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her. You're shoehorned and take her into that specific army, I feel, to make her most effective, but whatever, it's cool.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna like this one. I'm glad to see him return. Galrock, yes. The Great Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about this guy. I know you've seen him. Tell us about his story, what he's about.
I know he is a chaos dragon who is like fighting with himself a little bit, and so like Tzeentch has like a hold on him, right? And so he's got like the one head that's basically like Tzeentch, right, and the other one is basically still kind of like himself. Help me out.
Yeah, don't forget, he only has one head. It ripped in half because he's arguing with himself.
Yeah, that's right. So but he is like every once in a while he wakes up or he kind of wins for a second, and he kind of gets control of himself again. But such moments are rare. Yeah, he's just basically a big gribbly chaos dragon with a bunch of cool rules going on there. So
Yep. I mean, he's a dragon. Movement 6, weapon skill 6. I don't care about spell 6, skill 3. Strength 6, toughness 6, wound 6, initiative 4, attack 6, leadership 9. 465 points. Pretty good. He's a behemoth. He's a level 4 wizard. And he knows lore dark magic.
Yeah.
So, holy crap.
our first special character that is a level 4 wizard, by the way.
Absolutely.
And this guy is a classic, and so I approve of this message.
Yes.
He is a wizard that should be level 4.
He's
not
a
sure
dragon.
Empire wizards that don't know how to actually cast magic yet.
Yeah. He's an ancient dragon consumed by the chaos god of magic. If he wasn't a level 4, I would be like, we're done with this game deal. We're going back to 8th.
Yeah. Goodness.
Armor Hide 1. Which is he counts as his full plate, so add +1 to that. Fly 10, large target. Mark as Zinch, has to be Zinch. Regen 5+. Stomp attacks D6, Swift Stride Terror, 2-headed dragon. So Breath of Change, once per game. Instead of using Dark Fire or Chaos or Fumes of Contagion, which are his other attacks here, you can place a flame template, the broadhead over the target, blah, 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 as you do. It has to be in his visual arc. And they must immediately take a toughness test, friend or foe. If it's failed, models removed from play as casualty. And then if it's test, nothing happens. So, do you like Dwellers Below?
Oh yeah.
Well, whatever. Similar, yeah. Here's take this test and fail because you're low toughness.
And you're out of here.
Yep, once per game, thankfully. So I think we can all live with that, especially the flame template. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, during the start turn subphase, this is the spirit of Galrock, his other ability. Of each of your turns, make a leadership test for this model. If passed, Galrock is controlled as normal. If failed, his spirit rebels from within. While he's rebelling, he's a level 1 wizard. It can only cast 1 spell. He becomes subject to random movement 2d6. If he's engaged in combat, he must direct d3 of his attacks against himself, rounding down. Any wounds that he causes against himself are added to the enemy's combat resolution.
Nice.
Yeah. Like that's just amazing. Like there's even too like random movement 2d6 that could still be great.
Yeah.
Like you're like, okay,
I just love like your chaos, right, and everything's going well, and then this happens, right, and like you could feel like what that army must be feeling as like basically your big general just starts wigging out on you, right? You're like, God damn it.
it's the Ace Ventura, like, oh come on.
Yeah.
Like, there's just like one warrior looking up, like, stop it.
Right.
You've been good for centuries. Why now?
Give me the same feels I had like when I lost my last game to Matt based on by points. He got just over 100 by one of my Doom Divers just exploding and giving him 105 points.
Oh,
So he won.
the worst.
Because I rolled the 1 or whatever it was.
He's got various forms of attacks you get to choose from, so we won't. They're dragon attacks. That's all. Like, they're nothing special. We read the fun rules. Also in here we get some Marauder Tribe Chieftains, just like an extra Marauder type hero you can create. Marauder Tribe Berserkers, just a different type of Marauder you can take to add some different flavor.
Super fun
Frenzy.
What's that? Like with these guys to kit bash some stuff, make these guys, so yeah, you can have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, and I like that they're Mark of Chaos Undivided, but like the Berserkers, you get Frenzy, so you're kind of getting the Corn buff as well as the leadership buff. So like it's a fun way to mix it in. Plus Marauders, 6-up ward of Marauders. I'll take that all day.
Oh, yeah.
I like my 6-up wards. I said, and then Skin Wolves, that's a new unit. I hated those models. Not that they're bad, but aesthetically, they are not me.
I've seen them, but I don't remember them at all.
they're
Like,
they're they're very well done sculpts. I just my aesthetic, I would avoid these at all costs because I would like, no, I don't want to paint that. I don't want that in my army. It's like if I paid goblins, there wouldn't be a spider in there. Not that I hate spiders. I'm just like, I just don't want that aesthetic. I love as a gardener, I love spiders. So, um, but they're pretty neat. They're I think they're yeah. Was it? You can choose a transfiguration each time you fight with them to get extra attacks, extra armor. So you can kind of vary it based upon what you're fighting. So that's kind of a cool thing. They're neat. They're very useful.
Mhm.
The Marauder tribe Herskarls. These are more of the not berserkers. They're just more of the warriors. So hand weapons, light armor. They are on horses. And they're just I think slightly better stats of a Marauder horseman. Just like like if you need to have a retinue around your hero, that's a good one to have it with.
Mhm.
Chosen Chaos Chariots, gigantic spawn of chaos. Let's look at the gigantic spawn of chaos. We know what chariots are. They're fine. So this movement 3d6.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Random move. Yeah,
random move.
that's the best. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, you want to you want to stand and shoot? Nah, I didn't charge you.
Oh, listen, my squig hoppers know all about random move 3d6.
Weapon skill 3, that's fine. No ballistic skill. Strength 6, toughness 6, wound 6, initiative 3. So they're going last with 6 wounds, but they're d6 plus 1 attacks. So you can do 7 attacks. Even at weapon skill 3, you're going to get a few through, and that strength is going to just crush whatever you get.
Mm-hmm.
They have Armor Bane 2. They're technically close order, so
Mm-hmm.
first charge. Don't care about psychology. Stomps d6. Terror, they do have the Timber roll, so the fall over, and then they're also unbreakable. So you just kind of aim this thing where you want, and you just let it hold up the army force.
Nice. Yep.
Or after you played a few times like I have, you just point your Sisters of Avalorn at it and you shoot it real quick because you don't want to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll do 6 wounds to you real quick.
Yep.
But Cursed by the Gods. This is a fun thing. So you get to choose, obviously, for points. Are you Khorne, Nurgle, Slaanesh, or Tzeentch? And they're actually different points values. Khorne's 20 points, Nurgle's 25, Slaanesh is 15, Tzeentch is 10. As opposed to, like, if you look at the chariots, it's just 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 for all those marks. But there's extra bonuses here for them. If you're Khorne, you have impact hits D3, as well as the stomp attacks, and Killing Blow, which is just a great way to do it. If you're Nurgle, you have poison attacks and regeneration 5+. So this thing will not move, ever. If you're Slaanesh, you have countercharge and strikes first special rule. The strikes first is useful, the countercharge not so much, I don't feel.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Of course, with the strikes first, I mean, your weapon skill 6, or weapon skill 3. I don't know, that's probably, yeah. And then Tzeentch, you have flaming attacks, magical attacks, and magical resistance -2. So I think there's a reason why we're going to see Khorne and Nurgle the most and why they're priced appropriately.
I'd love to see flaming attacks do a little bit more than what they currently do as well. But
Yeah, they were in 8th edition. Flaming attacks were magical, and that was like a little bit too wonky. Like you almost always took one banner of flaming. Now it's like it's useless.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do something more to cavalry. Really, it'd be nice if it really affected cavalry a little bit more. Something to balance it out. But no, oh well. So
Yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah.
And then different attacks, all that sort of stuff. But there's the Warpfire Dragons, your boy. There he is, or girl. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Typical dragon, 6s across the board, pretty much. Attacks 5. You can be a level 1 or level 2 wizard if you choose to, for 30 or 60 points. Battle magic, demonology, or dark magic. I assume battle magic will probably be the most effective since you're a dragon, you want to be in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, I don't know, if you have 5 attacks.
Oh, you're level 1 or level 2. I don't know. You might be flying this guy up the flank or something, and maybe at a range of one of the wizards dispels. What is it? A 20-inch range. to spell if you're level 4, 21,
20, 18, 24. I forget which one.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
20 is 24. But so maybe you're out of range of it, and maybe get some spells off or something like that. But if you're within the range of an enemy's level 4,
You're not getting anything off.
no.
Not unless you use the special rules that I put into Terathi pack, which we'll go over before Terathi.
I love it. We doing that next week, hopefully? Or no?
We could. Yeah, we'll do that. Actually, no, we'll save that for the week between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's multiple attacks too for it. It has explosive, so when it loses its last wounds, before it's removed from play, friend or foe within 6 inches takes D6 strength 5 hits, AP -2. That's amazing. Just it explodes, always.
Yep.
And you have 5 up ward against any wounds caused by magical attacks or flaming attacks special rule. They should just make flaming attacks magical again. I think that would make it useful.
Yeah, because I would love like orcs and goblins. They do not have a lot of ways to deal with a green knight. They just don't.
Yeah.
Don't have a lot of magical attacks. You pretty much have to have a hero to have magical attacks. So.
And the green knight's not going anywhere near that hero if he can help it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's cool. Yeah, maybe I should change. Maybe I'll change that to Terathi just to piss off somebody that's coming and bringing Bretonnian. Actually, there's 2 probably. I know one who's bringing it, Mike.
Yeah. He did very well. Was it a year ago?
Yeah, did well.
Yeah.
And there's the magic items and stuff. To be fair, I didn't really look at them too much. It's not the biggest deal for me. Magic items suit to your taste. Overall, just generally, I think we both like Wolves of the Sea for our army specific stuff. Any special callouts or anything that you like, or like how would you build like this army per se? Like, would you try and do lots of ambush and skirmishers, or would you do more blocks? But how would you play
I'd go
with this?
probably ambushing skirmishers. I'd go a lot of infantry, like marauder blocks and stuff, just because I just like the way it looks. I like the marauder horsemen. I used to actually have some of the old. They were metal riders, and I had them painted actually pretty damn nice. I think they're over Dave's house right now. Unslave Darkness Army, but yeah, those were cool models, and so I'd love to see those back on the field. So that's probably what I would do. Definitely going to run that champion, whatever the chainmaker or whatever.
The chainmaker, yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be in there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would love to take. I have my Slaves of Darkness army for Sigmar, which is mostly older models anyway, and like some kit bashes. Like I have the War Shrine, which is no longer in there. Which, granted, it's not in this either. If I could run it as a chariot potentially, the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, I could convert this over to be a decent Chaos Warrior. But like, to be fair, the way it's built, I don't like the way the Slaves of Darkness rules work. Like where you choose your god mid battle.
Yeah.
One, because my whole army is painted purple. And 2, I don't like the standard Chaos Warrior theme in the Chaos Warriors because I want to do the Wolves of the Sea. So like I have this army that I don't want anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was to do it, I would have a unit of like Chaos Warriors, Chaos Knights, and I would have that champion who's a Chaos Warrior, but then just all Marauders after that. Probably like horses would be like my ambushers, and the rest would just be skirmish running around having a good time. Just like more thematic for me, I think, for sure on that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but definitely be Wolves of the Sea for me.
Yeah.
Without
100%. Well, with that, Warriors Chaos, we did it. We are caught up on Arcane Journals now, Neil. Can you believe it?
Nice. Well, we'll probably get that Empire one out pretty soon, I would imagine. Maybe January, February, something
I
like
can
that.
imagine January. That'd be pretty good. And we'll probably, I think we'll both be excited about that one, do that one pretty quick.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
We may even bring on Cole from Big M's Power Hour fame, since that's his army.
Cole of the Empire.
Cole of the Empire. So it might be a 3-way for that one. That'd be good times. But yeah, but
have to figure out which emperor Cole is supporting. By the way,
Well, it's Cole, so he needs to see when that book is out and which army's the strongest. He's a whack player through and through.
That's true.
That probably not.
Yeah.
Probably be a gun line. No, I'm kidding. I don't know if he likes gun lines though.
it's looking dreadful. That the gun lines, because they're already bad. So you take enough Hellblasters, and you're gonna have a good time. So
I took a dwarf gun line once against essentially the Wolves of the Sea style army, the corn one. It wasn't even nice. Like he killed a gyrocopter and like one cannon, and I was like, okay, and then he was dead. Because and really, he ambushed into one cannon, and then the next thing he hit was the anvil, which was like on a freaking toughness 10. So it was just they were just there the rest of the game. And then the one copter, I was like, oh, I could ambush or vanguard or whatever. I threw it way out, so that's why he killed it, because it was like in the middle of his army, like turn one. I was like, well, don't do that.
Yeah.
And then I just shot him completely.
Yeah. As you would.
As you do. It helped that I had lots of hills on my side. It was a great time. Perfect for dwarfs.
Yeah, Carl and I didn't play with any hills. But his ogres, those are large targets. So his artillery, so they can see right over top his other ogres, and he'll need hills for his artillery.
Interesting. So, well, if it's large target, don't you get the extra shots too? I think you do. You get extra shots against him because he's large.
Oh yeah. If you get in range, yeah.
Yeah. If you gotta be in range, though. Yeah.
There were no bows in that army, but yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I forgot a news piece. I'm gonna bring up here real quick. It's kind of fun. It's a Sigmar thing, so we'll do that. Sorry, this will be the wrap up of the show. A little bit odd segment, but did you see the new I guess Boxing Day model? Since Boxing Day is a holiday for the Brits, I guess. Whatever. I know it's important. I know it's important to them. I'm kidding.
I didn't.
So do you remember the Van Denst, the witch hunters for?
Oh, you know what? I did see it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like it was leaked. This nice little diorama model of the two of them surrounded by Skaven, like they're like not wearing their full garb because like it's clearly desperate measures, and it's like, okay, well that's kind of neat because it's something different, not necessarily needed, but it's cool to see different poses of these characters because we want more stories from characters.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that it comes with the diorama base and separate bases. So if you just want different sculpts of them, great, here you go. Put them, here's bases for everything you want to do with them. So I like it. I think it's only available in store, so I don't know if I'll be able to get it. Maybe if it's available online, I'll be able to pick one up. I have them, but so I don't know if I really need them, but they're cool. I like them. I like things like this. Please do more of this, Games Workshop. I'm a fan of alternate sculpts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but anyway. Last piece of choking. It was spit. This cold is almost gone. I promise. It's so frustrating. I hope no one gets this cold. It's not terrible. It's just won't go away.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, with that, Neil, that's a show. So next week we'll have a different topic for you, and the week after we'll talk Teyrathi. But for now, anything you want to say before we head out, Neil?
No, I'm good. Be good, people.
Yep, be good. Santa's watching. All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.